Hello everybody, welcome to Salter HQ. This is Salt Your Thoughts, and I'm Salty. I'm here today. We're all going to play some Civilization 5, and I'm just going to talk to you about the game and what I think about it and stuff. Well, Civ 5, if you haven't played it yet, is like the big PC strategy game. There's a lot to do in Civ 5, and lots of ways you can do it. For example, like to complete the game or like to win the game, you've got to win in a number of different ways. There are, I think, I can count 3 that I know of, and I think there's other ways as well. You can win by domination, which is by um, pretty much taking on taking over everybody and beating them, and like just taking over every city. Another way to do it is through the Model UN. Sorry, the United Nations that you can make, and then there's a vote, and then you win by democracy. And the third way is through tech, and you can literally fly off into space, which is awesome. This game is unbelievably long. That's 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 both a that's a backhanded compliment, if you know what I mean. That's both a good thing and a bad thing. This game I'm currently showing you, I haven't finished yet, and I've been playing for about 4 hours. Luckily, I'm only giving you 15 minutes of clips to watch. And you know, you start pretty much the whole idea of the game is you start off with a civilization, and you take that civilization to become the best civilization ever. And like I said, you win under those circumstances I outlined earlier. And you start off in a certain era. You start off in ancient. You can normally start off in ancient times, though you can assign in the options menu where you want to start off. And like the eras go like ancient, classical, Renaissance, industrial, modern, and then future. So like you go through all these eras to get to the future era. You know, you get units that befit that era. Like at the minute, I'm playing the Japanese. In ancient times, just for access stuff. But once I get to the medieval era, I can actually get samurai, which is absolutely awesome. All factions, because there's a number of different factions on this game, or civilizations as they're called. For example, there's the British, there's the French, there's the American, Japanese, the Chinese, the Russian, the German. I think that's the Russian, yeah. So there's loads of different civilizations, and they all come with their own little perks and little difficulties. The perk for the Japanese that I know of is like the combat strength of your units never drop. So like even though you've only got one unit, he still fights like even though you've got a unit, and as you can see, as they get weaker, more and more of the people drop off and die. The Japanese will still fight as if they're a full unit, even though there's only like 1 or 2 left, which makes them actually really good in a close knit fight, which is cool. I really like playing the Japanese. Their perks are really great. Like I said, they get the I think it's in the medieval. They get the you can train up the samurai, which just for that era are a dominating unit. They really do put the pressure on. And like another example is like the Americans get their own superior plane in the modern era, which is like a really nasty bomber plane. And I think the Japanese get a plane in the future era, which is really cool, called the Zero. So yeah, they all get their own things and stuff, which makes sense. But yeah, this you're seeing on the screen, I think they're called policies, I think, and they're all about They're kind of like a different tree behind the tech tree, which you fulfill by getting your civilization to become more cultured, and they give you benefits and perks as well. Like at the minute, I'm going down the Liberty tree, which is a tree used specifically for rapidly expanding your civilization, like to build lots of cities and stuff. Which I really like to use because it actually really helped me out and made me grow a lot quicker than I normally do on this game. I normally use the honor and the autocracy trees, so I like to be really combat focused, and they're like the combat trees. They're really good for doing up the strength of your units. To add a depth to what I'm saying, like to make you understand quite how it works, is like you start off with like axes and bones, and then you get into the future era where you've got giant death robots. Yeah, there's a massive difference between each era, which is really fantastic as well. You always feel like you're progressing, and that's why I think time goes by so quickly. So far, like my favorite era has to be probably the industrial era, because as soon as you get guns, you see this massive difference in combat. Like, there's nothing better than seeing a load of people on a horse running into your rifleman, and your rifleman just shooting them down. It's fantastic. Nuclear missiles too in the modern and future era are really something to see. You know, there's no better way of getting rid of somebody's units than just launching a missile strike at them as they come at you. It kind of when everyone's far enough into the future era together, it kind of puts you off directly assaulting them like that, or like having ground units, because they're just cannon fodder at the future era. However, if you're I'm only playing against computers, so I actually get like to the industrial age whilst they're still in the Renaissance period. So like I get guns when they're still using their swords and stuff. So like I reckon I could probably, or I can probably by the end of the game, while they're still using regular soldiers and stuff, I can just use death robots and nuclear weapons and stuff like that, and really just put the hurt on their army, which is fantastic. One of the really cool features of this game is the diplomacy bar, which is in your top right corner, and like you can talk to other leaders of civilizations, and you can kind of trade with them. Now I've heard that in the newer version of this, the AI is a lot better, because I'm finding right now that the AI sucks. Not for lack of a better word. Like you can't really do a trade that's mutually beneficial. It really has to be kind of one-sided to their favor, unless you're doing a research opportunity, which I find so bloody frustrating. And also, like, they react to how you act. So like whenever I play this game, they'll all be friends with me for a little while until they realise I'm a conquering bastard who likes to just conquer everything. Alright, so what are my thoughts on this game? My thoughts are that this game is really good if you have the time for it. I mean, like I said, I'm 4 hours in, and I've taken out, I think, 3 of the 5 other civilizations in my map, and I'm on a small map using the quickest time scale settings. Like you've got a time scale setting for however long you want it to be. If you want it to be like more realistic, you'll have a longer time scale, so it takes longer to train units, longer to learn tech and stuff like that. So I have it on the shortest one and on the smallest map with 5 other people, and it's still taking me 4 hours to get it done. So time is really a factor in this game. However, there is also a lot of strategy involved, and like I can imagine if you played it online, and people were taking it seriously, it would be really good. However, I could also imagine if you go online and people weren't taking it seriously, it could be a bit douchey. Like one second you make a treaty with them, the next second they're in your borders and they're invading you. I can imagine it'd end terribly. As far as the as far as game goes, like it works really well. It's really fluid. It's not too difficult to pick up. My thoughts are it works. The game really works, and like obviously it works because this is Civilization 5. This is the 5th game in the series. They've had lots of practice getting it done. I haven't played any other Civilizations, so I can't tell you if it's better than Civ 4 or anything like that. My friends are telling me it's not quite as good. There's a couple of features missing, like religion, which apparently they were going to put in the expansion or something like that, or in the downloadable content, which I haven't got. This is like the vanilla version, which is slightly sad because I think playing around with religion would have been really cool as well. Like you can also have sea battles, which I suppose I should mention. Like you can fight on land or on sea, and eventually, when you get to the high enough ticks, in the air with your planes. The way planes work in this game is it's not like StarCraft or anything where they just hover about. They have to be either fixated in your aircraft carrier, which is in the sea, or in your cities. Like they can't be anywhere else. So, like you can send your aircraft to like attack and defend. So they can be a really good defense if you're being attacked, say by some land units that have come from nowhere, or some barbarians or something. I really love the ocean units on the game. Like to me, there's nothing because the game like kind of suggests that you put some of your cities on the home front. You can always on the waterfront. You can always find cities on the waterfront, and bombarding them with your ships is fantastic. We can talk. I'll talk about the concept of taking cities. Pretty much, in order to take a city, you've got to have a unit on the ground. And the health has got to be low enough, and then you've got to attack it with that ground unit, and then that ground unit takes over the city, and then it takes it under yours, and then you have a choice either between making it a puppet state, which means even though it works for you, you don't make every direct decision that what it produces, or you can annex the city and put it under your fold. The reason why you might want to make it a puppet state instead of having full control over it is because there's a high level of unhappiness that comes with overtaking someone else's city. What is unhappiness? Well, happiness is another system of the game. There's so many systems of the game; it's hard to talk about them all. Which affects your civilization's productivity. If they are unhappy, they won't produce your units or your technology as fast as they could. So it's important to keep them happy. I'm going down the liberty tree like I was saying I was doing. So it's really important to make sure they're happy. What I do to do that is normally I build lots of buildings that just give happiness, like lots of event buildings and stuff. And I also try to make sure I find the resources that are classed as luxury resources, because there's two types. There's strategic resources which are normally used to build military units, and there's luxury resources which just make happiness, which make you more productive. So the more happy you are, the faster you produce, which is a great feature in this game, I think. As you can see, we can see all of the tech trees. There's like 10 of them. The tech trees, the policy trees, and you get these by gaining culture. Now, in order to gain culture, it's you kind of get it at a so many a turn, but you can alter that by buying buildings and whatnot that increase the amount of culture you get per turn. So finally, I just wanted to say that my sort of thought is this is a really good game. It's really deep as well, and there's a lot of it I can talk about, and I could keep going on and make a video twice as long, try and talk about all the mechanics. But the best thing you guys can do is jump in and try it yourself. It's well worth a play if you're really into deep RTS. If you're into something like StarCraft, something more competitive and quick, this probably isn't for you. This is for the deep gamer who really wants to play a long game. Yeah, so guys, comment, subscribe, like the video, the usual jibber jabber, whatnot. Also, let me know what you want to watch next after this. Okay, guys, ciao for now. Bye.